Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome to RedPill Arabia. I'm your host, Badr. Today we have a great man, a guru for me, someone who inspired me to start this kind of shows. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, RedPill, Men Health, author, writer, Mr. Gregory. Gregory, how are you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Badr. It's 6:30 here American time, but I'm doing quite well. I thank you for the invitation. Anytime that I can help a fellow Red Pill man promote the message, the philosophy, it is quite humbling. So I appreciate the introduction and the opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, for the Arab viewers who are not familiar with your channel, Red Pill Men Health, can you please tell us more about your channel and about your start and why did you start this kind of shows?
Absolutely. So I have two YouTube channels. I have Red Pill Men's Health, which is the main Red Pill channel. And then I have Gregory, the Red Pill Guru, which is my sister YouTube channel that deals with people ask me questions about dating, and I do quick 5-minute videos to reply to help them. I also do videos there on politics, American politics, and so forth. I also have a podcast called The Awakened Man, which you can find on Apple or anywhere, and I talk about similar Red Pill messages, also men's health, men's financial health, purging your addictions, and so forth. And I interview men over there as well. But I was a blue pill man, like many men, and I was previously married, and my ex-wife was one of those cluster B personality disorder whack jobs, a rager, a thrower, an abuser. And I tried to be a good husband and try to reason with her, stop doing this. This is bad modeling for the kids. But she wouldn't listen. She wouldn't do it. I contemplated leaving her, and I am a Catholic in full disclosure. And in our religion, we don't divorce. When you're married in the church, you have to be married forever unless you get an annulment. And so I didn't really contemplate ever leaving my marriage, but my family was always telling me, you need to get away from that situation because it's violent and it's bad modeling for my children. So one night I finally stayed in a motel, and she had always threatened to destroy me if I'd leave her. So the next day I came back, Badr, the locks of the house were changed, and she had taken all of our money, savings account money, out of the account. And then the next day I got paid because I get paid monthly, and she took that money out as well. And even at that point, I said, look, and the other thing is we weren't having sex for 2 years. So I said, look, if you stop abusing, if we resume sex, and you treat me with respect, I will still stay in the marriage. Because again, a lot of men think about what is best for the children, but women don't always think that way. And this is one of the reasons why in America, the divorce rate is so high, and women initiate divorce 75% of the time. And it's 90% of all divorces if she's college educated. But she said no. And so we started going through the divorce procedure. She tried to get me fired. She made up false allegations at my job that I was doing inappropriate things. And luckily I had told my boss ahead of time that my wife was crazy. So I didn't lose my job there. And eventually I got partial custody of the kids. In America, it's every other weekend. So I went from seeing my kids every day to 4 nights a month, and I paid child support. And then at that point, I still didn't know anything about Red Pill. So I got into a relationship with a woman afterwards who I thought was totally different than my wife, right? This is a very common story among divorced men, because you're vulnerable and you want to find a woman who's good and nothing like the other woman. And so I met this woman who's very religious. She's a Mormon. You're not familiar with the Mormons. The Mormons are a Christian.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they're very virtue signaling, very sweet. She had tons of red flags. Man. She had 4 kids from her previous marriage, which she had just ended, and a lot of debt. But she was very kind and sweet. So we got together, and then we accidentally, I can't say accidentally because it takes 2 people to do it. But we conceived a child 6 months into that relationship. And then eventually I moved in, she moved in with me, and I invited her kids to live with us. And it was hard because we had the newborn child. we had her 4 kids all under the age of 9 in the house. And then every other weekend, I had my 3 kids. So we would have 8 kids every other weekend,
Wow.
5 kids all the time, including a newborn. But eventually, I developed really bad insomnia, and she didn't want to deal with it. And then eventually we broke up because I thought that she deserved better than have somebody who couldn't sleep. I'm trying to condense the story. And then within a month of breaking up, we both decided that we wanted to give it a shot because we had a daughter together. But then she met a lawyer, and then the hypergamy kicked in. She dated both of us for 5-6 months, and then ultimately, when the lawyer told her that he loved her, she discarded me completely. And then at that point, I had to go to court, and I paid child support there. So I pay 50% of my wages to child support, and that is going to be that way for at least another 10 years. So I am fleeced big time. Now, I have to be completely accountable, and I tell people on my channel, you have to be accountable for your actions. I made poor decisions. It's so easy to blame the woman for everything, but it takes 2 to tango, as we say here in America, and I'm in the situation I'm in. So after that, I kind of stumbled upon RedPill. I think the first content creators I found were Sandman, and I watched a little of his content for about 3-4 months, and I read Rollo Tomasi's The Rational Male. And after that, it just, let's do a YouTube channel, because I did have a podcast for several years at that point, but I didn't really talk about RedPill stuff. I was like, well, let's get more visibility. Let's start a YouTube channel. So RedPill Men's Health is called that because at the first 4 months, I would do a medical video in addition to a RedPill video. And then after a little while, I just stopped doing the medical videos because they weren't getting views. But at RedPill Men's Health, I essentially tell men, you have to work on all aspects of your life. So you have to purge your childhood demons, your addictions, because many men have these things. You have to work on your financial solvency. And of course, you have to not be under the beguiling siren song that is women. So of course, we talk a lot about hypergamy and solipsism, and how ultimately men are the catch. Men age like fine wine. Our sexual market value is largely determined by our money, not by our looks. Whereas women, it's all based on youth and fertility. And so by age 30, 35, certainly in Saudi Arabia, you can tell me if the age difference is more. But over here in America, we're all fat. So really, a fat woman can have a low SMV when she's 22. But a woman's sexual market value is dead by 35 and 40 because she's no longer fertile. And then after that, she's a 1. But you see so many, 1 out of 10. You see so many men who jump through the hoops for these single moms and these women with debt and rage issues, and then who've put their husbands in jail because they just have so much simpery, and they have nice guy syndrome. They have their own early childhood trauma. Maybe they were involuntary celibates who never had luck with women, whatever the factor is. So that the point of the channel is just kind of to work on yourself on every facet, but certainly we focus on women and men realizing that they need to purge the relationship thirst, which is the idea that your life is incomplete unless you have a woman in your life. And I exhort men to be monks, meaning that they do not have any relationships at all. This is something we can talk about later. Many men who've been, I'd say out of 10 men who've been divorced, 7 will try to find a new woman because they think their ex-wife was the exception. 2 will go MGTOW and never remarry, and 1 will kill himself or drink himself to death. And I tell men, you certainly should not cohabit or marry because the courts and family law are at a major peril to you. But I tell men, I think you should be a monk, especially if you have children, because even with short-term relationships, and of course, we could talk about what it's like in Saudi Arabia, but the Western civilization, Badr, as you know, is a moral cesspool. And so with Tinder and all these apps, men are banging women on the first date, second date. But even with these hookups, you're still exposing yourself to pregnancies, to sexual transmitted diseases, to cluster Bs, to stalkers, and other stuff like this, false rape allegations. So I tell men just to be a monk and not interact with women at all. But a lot of men can't do it for whatever reason. But that's the main message.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for giving me a heart attack. Each time I'm listening to your story, I'm feeling the pain. I'm sincere, by the way. I'm a kind of person who I don't lie. I can see the sincereness in the way you talk. I myself have experienced divorce myself. I I'm the only male child in my family and in my country. It's good that I'm trying to push in some information about Saudi Arabia, try to clear the misconception that's been done to the Saudi people, which is really unjust to such a great people. Not because I'm Saudi, but I've been traveling all over the world. I'm a multilingual, and Saudi are really, really nice people. If you have a friend of yours who has Saudi friends, they will tell you how much we are kind people. But I don't know why, where did it come from that the media start to attacking us, giving us this terrorist vibe? I mean, I recall, Saudi Arabia and America have been great friends for a long time. I remember when I was younger, I used to go to the US as if I was going to a different city in Arabia. I used to go to the embassy. Hello, I'm a Saudi citizen. Give me a visa, a 4-year visa. They'll give me on spot. I used to go to the airport in America, the open arms. Welcome, Mr. Saudi. And nowadays, even when I travel to Europe on vacation, they start to give me these looks in the airport and they give me a hard time.
Well, you see what's going on, and you see what's going on in France right now with the extremist militant attacks. And so over there, they're having a xenophobia of all foreigners. And look, I mean, we could talk about politics with the European
By
Union.
the way,
I
in
feel, in my humble
politics,
opinion, they did
politics is a big subject, but unfortunately, I cannot talk about politics, but hopefully
okay,
in the future, we can talk.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I do have a question about women in Saudi Arabia. So I know Mira, you interviewed her. I've had her on my channel. She used to be on my live streams all the time. And what the Arabs have a very good reputation of mate guarding. That is, over here in the West, the men here have become such wusses that they don't maintain frame, right? They don't tell women you can't take trips with other girls to another country. You can't be on social media, you can't do this. And the Arabs have a great reputation of mate guarding, of telling women you can't do this, you can't do that, that you maintain frame. Women, if you don't adhere to this role, we'll get rid of you. Is this not true at all in Saudi Arabia, or are men still able to control their women and to keep them in line?
Bad news, not anymore.
Why is that?
Unfortunately, we do follow the footsteps of the West. We watch lots of Hollywood movies, song, hip hop, whatever. It's crazy. So whatever we call it, Mama America, Mother America. Whatever Mother America says, do these things, we'll do it.
I thought we were the great Satan, though. I thought that. Well, I guess that's what Iran called us. But what about Islam? Doesn't Islam kind of make men like take charge of their women, and the women have to be submissive and have to cover their face and all that? And if they get cheated, if they cheat, can't you divorce them and they won't get the kids or the money? Is that still law in Saudi Arabia, or is that not law anymore?
Another bad news. Most of the people all over the world has been exposed to the trend of, I would say, not agnosticism, but rather they become more, liberal. So the religion effect have been reduced all over the world, including the Muslim world, especially after the great attacks on the Arabs who live in the Western world as being terrorists. Some people decided to fight back and become extremists to fight, because you see, Gregory, if I attacked you right now at the moment, I said, you are Mexican descent. It doesn't matter if you're get back to Mexico. You'll be upset because said you are attacking my own identity. If I did attack your shirt, if I said your shirt is ugly, you said, hold on a minute, let me change it. Now you have nothing on me, right?
Well, look at this shirt.
I know. By the way, guys, Gregory promote this.
You can get this on my website, RedPill Men's Health.
Exactly. So the thing is, I didn't know one thing about the Arab. We are very, very, very proud people. in a way that you cannot imagine how much pride we have. We think that we are the king of the world, not in a snappy way, but in a way that we are really appreciate our culture, our heritage, our philosophy. And it's really for alpha men. I myself, I'm an alpha man. I used to be the world North American champion of Kung Fu 2000, 2001. I even represented the USA, although I wasn't an American. So I'm hot-blooded. I'm a funny person. I can laugh, I can joke. But if you attack me, I will tear you apart verbally and physically. So imagine guys like me traveling abroad, let's say going to Europe, going to France, and people start to be racist against them, be mean against them. There's two types of people. There's the weak and the alpha. The weak will change his name from Mohammed to Mo, from Joseph to Joe. You know, we're close to Mediterranean looks. You could easily mistake me for a Spanish, for Greek, for Jewish, yeah. Right? So it's easy for us to lose our, to be misidentified. But it's a matter of pride. I am a Saudi. Okay. I am an Arab. And for your own information, something like making me laugh from the stupidity that I see in the American media. They have this term, anti-Semite. I am a Semite.
Right.
People, they don't understand what
the Jews and the Arabs are Semites. Yeah,
not the Jews and the Arabs, but a big portion of the Arabs are Semite. And I am a Semite.
Yeah.
I had one of my videos.
Either way,
I have one of my videos, I'll end with this, very funny. I had in Canada, I used to live in Canada, and one Italian lady, which I was about to date. She didn't have problem dating me, but she had problem identifying me as a brown person. And I was furious because I know my color. It's not brown. I'm not colorblind. I said, my color is a tan color. You people, the Caucasian, the white, go to the beach to have my color. So I have the best color in the world. And now you're calling me a brown person? I said, by the way, I'm a man. I'm exposed to the sun. If you see my sister and my mom, they're quite white. They're even whiter than yourself. How dare you call me a brown? And she told me, for us as European, we identify Mexican as Latinos, Arabs, and Indians as brown people. Even if you're white with green eyes, you are a brown person for us. And the African are black, even if they're brown. And the whites are white, even if they're dark. I got really furious. By the way, I was highly educated in the Bible. I did memorize half the Bible, King James Version, when I was a youngster, plus the complete Quran. I read more than 2,000 books. I'm a book crazy guy. Anyhow, so I told her, you seem to be a Christian. Do you believe that Christ is your Lord and Savior? She said, yes. I said, well, where is Christ from? I said, this is from Israel. He said, do you know where is Israel? Yeah, in Middle East. You know the area of Palestine? And he said, these are the Arab, the Jews are our cousin. And if Christ was living today, he'd be looking exactly like me. It's not the photo that you see on the TV, with the blonde hair. So if I'm brown, that means your God is brown. Is your God brown? Gregory, if you saw her face, it was blue and green. And, these people exist, racist people, but I'm trying to educate. Don't attack me. I have my own pride. Don't misjudge me. Don't tell me I'm a brown person. Don't tell me I'm terrorist. But it's different.
I think it's interesting.
I just want to clear this point because it's really like a stone on my chest. Whenever I'm talking to someone who's not familiar with the Arab people, they give me this kind of misunderstanding, which really, painful. But the main subject is about women. And here what we talk about. You asked a question earlier about women in Saudi. I will say one thing. Women in Saudi have the best life of women in the entire world. Mm-hmm. Tell me you live in the US. They say the US is the richest, most best life in the world, which is not true. There are lots of places in the world that have better lifestyle. Saudi women in the US, do you have every woman have their own driver? Women in Saudi, they used to be, now they can drive, but in the past, everyone have their own driver. If not available, her brother, her father will drive her to wherever she wants.
Yes.
She doesn't need to work because her father is responsible by law to support her. 18, 19, 50, we don't have this law about 18 and you can get out of the house. In our country, it's about love and about family union. A girl, she could be 50 years old, unmarried, and she lives under her family expanse. And by law, even if the father said, well, I'm not responsible, they put him in jail because this is your own blood and flesh. We're very family oriented. And if she married, we have something called dowry. You know dowry? When I was married,
Yeah.
I married 4 years ago. I was engaged for 4 years. I married for 8 months. So 4 years engagement. By the way, in Arabia, engagement means no sex. Engagement just to wear the rings and being allowed to enter her family home so we get more acquainted to her way. It's our own philosophy. Usually it's 6 months to a year. I did for 4 years. I wanted to be sure. I was 36 at the time. I wanted to be sure 100% that she's the right one. And she was amazing. She was a medical doctor. She was 25. I was 37, 12 years age difference. Perfect height to me and her height. Perfect sign, horoscope, matching. And she was my neighbor. She was deeply in love. She used to sneak out of the college and come to my house and get on her knees and cry, begging me to marry her, that she loved me to death. I mean, everything on paper was, and she was a millionaire. Her father gave her 200.
Okay, so what happened? So why did the divorce happen?
I'll tell you, her father gave her 200 million when he passed away, just for her. So she got everything: the looks, perfect teeth, perfect look, her hair until her knees, her hair and below her knees, perfect looks, perfect figure, intelligence, money. She's deeply in love. There's nothing. I met all because I wasn't ready for marriage. So I said, unless I have something perfect, I wouldn't marry. So she came in, and I didn't like her. To be frank with you, I didn't want to marry. I felt something bad in my heart. I said, she's not the one. But my mom pressured me, you're old. Come on, everybody have their grandchildren now. Your friends in high school have their grandchildren. I want to see your children. So she pressured me. And then I say, oh, what? Okay, I'll marry. After 8 months, I believe, I don't have a definite result. I believe that she cheated on me within 8 months.
Okay, so here's the question I have, Badr, because we only have about 10 minutes. So I want us to juxtapose the court system in America versus the court system in Arabia. So I'm assuming most of your subscribers are in Saudi Arabia. So in America, it's very bad for men. So let's say I have a business and I make $1 million a year and I marry, let's say Mira, who makes $40,000 a year. Women in America can initiate anytime. Well, they have a no fault. We have no fault divorce here since 1970. So prior to 1970, you had to have a reason to divorce, and you had to have demonstrable proof why. Not anymore. And because of this, there's a financial incentive for women to divorce men in America. So going back to my situation, I mentioned that women initiate divorce 90% of the time, and there's a divorce in America. Why? Because in most states here, they just divide the total assets in half. So if I make $1 million and she makes 50,000, in the divorce, which she will initiate, she gets a financial bonanza. She gets $500,000, half of what we made, even though I did all the work to make it. Plus, she can get alimony in California, New York, states like this, where she will get a certain amount of money until either she remarries or she dies. We never see this in employment, right? They fire you. Oh, you're still going to pay me till I die. Plus, they get child support, which is 20% of your annual wages. So 20% of $1 million is what? It's $200,000 a year. So they get $200,000 a year for just breeding a child, plus $500,000 of the assets that you had joint, even though you made it all or most of it, and they can get alimony. So this is why we tell men in America, do not marry, because you have no leverage in the marriage. A woman can leave you at any time. But tell me, if you were to marry Mira, for example, in Saudi Arabia, or your wife, your ex-wife, and she initiates divorce, can she get that similar situation? Can she get that similar money and the kids?
Well, not very far away from it. But the new law actually, unfortunately, follows the American law. Before 5 years ago, you just have to pay child support based on the judge own estimation. There's no percentage. So the guy will say, go to the judge, say, I earn 10,000 a month. She said, well, the children need to go to a private school, whatever. How much can you afford, sir? I could afford 4,000. Sure, done. There's no percentage. That's the system. It was very just. The new laws, no, it's a percentage. So we do started to follow the American law. Thank God, when I divorced my wife, we had no children. It's only 8 months. And it was under a year, so she got nothing. Although she kept my dowry, as I said, I paid her 800,000 in 8 months. The cost for the dowry, for the gold, for the jewelry, for the fancy decoration for the house, for all this unnecessary stuff. And then when she divorced, what can I do? I have no say. If some wife start to lose her respect to her husband and start to talk to other men within marriage. I mean, we know Arab, we are very proud people. And thank God, I did not know about this until I divorced her. The divorce happened for a different reason. And I knew this a year later.
Really quickly.
If I did know what had happened, I wouldn't be with you right now in life. I'll be in prison. But you got my point.
Really quickly, I have this question because we only have about 8 minutes. So can women initiate divorce in Saudi Arabia?
Yep.
Can women initiate divorce in Saudi Arabia? And let's say that you've been married 10 years to this woman, but you're making all the money, because I know most women in Arabia mostly don't work. Can she get 50% of all of your money?
Nope.
2 questions. Okay.
Nope.
So you guys still have a better law system in vis-a-vis family law than we do.
Yeah, we still so far it's way better than yours, but we are going towards the same direction. If you follow the statistic, we're going there. Maybe 5-10 years from now, it'll be the same America.
Why is that? Isn't Saudi Arabia run by princes? It's run by men. Why would they put in these laws that are going to hurt men?
Global pressure.
It's not like you have a constitutional republic. It's not a democracy.
The feminist movement have reached high level in the global powers. And there is no escape, Gregory. You have to live in the moon. Unless you have your own private island, there is no way out. And the thing is, Gregory, we need women in our life. You see, in America, you have better thing than our life in Saudi. We are conservative, we are Muslim. We are not allowed to have girlfriends. So imagine a young guy who have needs. At least in the US, you have the choices, either to marry or to fornicate. For us, fornication is not an option.
Yes.
If you do get caught, your reputation will be ruined. You'll be whipped in public for humiliation. There's no pain in whipping. It's all about humiliation. It's not like when they present it in the TV with a big whip. No, it's a small stick just to humiliate the person. So it's humiliation, it's the dishonor, losing your job. So nobody wants to risk that. So people want to have their needs. They want to have a clean house. They want to have a good meal for food. They don't want to spend the rest of their life in like a bachelor going to a restaurant and wasting money. You want to have a good meal. You want to have a clean house. You want to have a woman to mate with. You want to have children to please his mom, because the pressure of having children always happen from the lady's side. And then when he gets married, same like the US. In a few years, the woman will lose interest. The guy will be out of shape. The woman start looking at movies and video clips and seeing hot guys. She will see the guy is not as attractive as he used to be, because she got used to him. She got used to the way of his talking, his personality, you know, and then he's not as interesting as he used to be. And she wants to match to someone who's more exciting. But the thing is, we are the true romantic, Gregory. We are the people who are faithful. I've never in my entire life, and I'm 41 years old, I never heard in my entire life that one guy left his wife because she got sick or fat or whatever. We could sleep around. We could sleep around because we have needs.
but we never let that woman go because we are honorable people, even if the bad people of us. But the woman, as soon as you lose your job, as soon as you lose your looks, as soon as you lose whatever, if you maintain the same level and she got a higher education and got a better pay, she will leave you. It's all like very hard on us, Gregory. And we don't want to live this life anymore. We don't want to sleep around and get STDs. You know, we're also religious. As much as you're Catholic, we are Muslim. We don't want to, you know, go to hell. We want to be a good people. We want to follow the laws and the commandments. We don't want to get STD. We don't want a woman to put us in jail for false allegation. We don't want to get married and our wife cheat on us or have another child from another man and we raise him. All these dangers involved with marriage. And what we do, we still get married because we are human. We have hearts. They say women are romantic. Who's the romantic? Who's the one who falls in love? I've never seen a woman commit suicide because her husband broke her heart. The attempt never finished the suicide. But we are the one who, even in suicide, we have better rates because we are sincere in everything.
Well, I'll tell you this. Look, solipsism is so important to understand in the female mindset. And I don't get mad at women for being hypergamous. In other words, trying to find the richest, most status man that they can get. Men hate that in women, but what's the point of hating it? It's like having women hate men for wanting young, beautiful women. That's just the way we're wired. Women are wired for security. They're gonna want to be with the king of the clan, so to speak, the man who can provide the most resources and the man who can have the most status and leadership. And it's great if you're good looking too and you're masculine. But that's just the way women are. So yeah, you're right. We are the true romantic. A woman's love is based on utility, usefulness. What can you provide me now? Absolutely. That's just the way women are wired. You know, I don't even get mad at them anymore. The point of my channel is to expose blue pill men to this so they understand it. And then they get depressed, right? They get depressed. And it's understandable why they get depressed. But ultimately, it's liberating. Men going their own way, MGTOW, is liberating because now your whole life does not revolve around trying to get a woman, trying to get the P and all this. You are your own man and you don't need a woman in your life. You purge the thirst. You don't even need sex. Let's be honest. This idea that we need to have a woman for sex is completely nonsensical, in my opinion. If you already have children like I do, there's absolutely no reason for me to remarry. Now, your court system is much more favorable than ours. But in America, the divorce rate of second marriages is around 70%. So it'd be stupid of me to remarry a woman when the divorce rate is so high, when then she can take, again, half of my assets and everything like that. So it's ridiculous. At least in Saudi Arabia, you still have some protection under the law. But if you have a couple of minutes, Badr, I'm sorry, we can talk about this later when you come onto my channel. Do you have any response to that? I would tell the Saudi men, look, you have it bad. In the West, we have it worse. We have it worse.
Well, Gregory, talking with you is so exciting. I wish if we had hours and hours and hours, but this, what we're gonna do is we'll end it here, and then we'll see the commentator, what exactly, which subject that we can talk, elaborate more, and we can dedicate it episode just for this issue to cover it from end to end. And with that, thank you very much, Gregory, for being our channel today. And hopefully, within a couple of days, I will meet you in your own channel, RedPill Men Health, and we'll continue the discussion. So until then, have a great day, sir.
Absolutely.
See you soon.